North East, talk about North East football. Newcastle get done over the weekend against Aston Villa. Shocking result for Newcastle. Arguably the worst performance of the season. Middlesbrough, Friday night, obviously did the business. Sunderland got a great result. My old mate Mugger. Hartlepool lost and Darlington lost. So, right, we're on for live now, both. That's a bit skew with that. What is if I'm on a slide? Thanks for joining me on Facebook and YouTube Live, and thanks as always to the sponsors, Cleveland Systems Engineering, Galaxy Blinds, Buttership Museum, RWTA, that's Richard Wills Training Associates, TGM Cars, Advanced Utility Solutions, and Cornerstone Business Solutions. Well, Borough put Norwich to bed on Friday night, 5-1, could have been more. And Saturday, Newcastle United were blown away down at Aston Villa. They get gubbed 3-0. Sunderland beat Birmingham 2-1. What a result for my old mate Mugger. Hartlepool lost 2-0 away to Newport. Bit disappointing that. And Darlington lost 3-0 away at Brackley Town. Obviously, in the main, now then, Bernard, David McNally. Hiya, Dave. I'm going to read a few of these out before we get going because I always leave these and end up I never read them. Evening, Bernie. Mr. Norwich show, but ready for tonight. Cheers, Borough fan. Middlesbrough, Friday night. I had to get back on track. I mean, Huddersfield was awful defensively. We get done 4. My old manager, Neil Warnock. And then we played Burnley. Burnley gained promotion that night at the Riverside. No disgrace getting beat with them. We lost 2-1. And then Bristol, 2-0 down. We came back, showed a wee bit, and came back and got a point. So that was 1 point out of 9. 8 goals conceded. We go out on Friday. We're under the spotlight of Sky. It's been beamed all over. And what a shift we put in. We're terrific. People were questioning, have we get the balls? Has our bottles gone? We proved that we've got bottle. I mean, there were some tasty challenges. We zipped it around. I mean, torrential rain from start to finish. For me, forwards, love that. I certainly did when I played. But yeah, the 5 goals were terrific. Ramsey get 1, Hackney get 1, Archer get 2, Akpom get another 1. And when you look at Borough strikers now, I mean, over the last couple of seasons, when we getting loan players in, or over the right few seasons, loan players in, not really done it. But now you've got Akpom, obviously 27 goals. Foz get 10. Ramsey and Archers get 8. You know, that's a lot of goals. So, and then by the way, we're the top scorers in the championship. So it's incredible. I mean, 10 years. It's the feast of the famine. It was a famine for goals. We couldn't score goals. We couldn't buy a goal. And this season we've been scoring 3, 4s, 5s. We're top scorers in the division. We have 4 games to go. It's an incredible turnaround since Carrick came to Middlesbrough. Do you reckon Sunderland might sneak the playoffs? And Rivers. I hope to get into Hull straight away. I hope we get into Hull straight away. I loved playing in the rain or the mud bath, though I did as well, without a shadow of a doubt. Switch forwards, get shots off, keepers not happy, spills them, they could fly in the bottom corners, or yeah, the wet, the rain suits forwards more than defenders. I think that's a definite. Let me see what this is. What did I read something there. Do you reckon Sunderland might sneak playoffs? Well, do you know what? I was talking on Saturday, and I didn't realise how close Sunderland were to the playoff spots. 2 points off top 6. What a job Mugger's doing, my old mate Mugger, who a guy I respect greatly. 2 points, and he's no strikers. I mean, Simmons went back to Everton. Big Stuart got badly injured, out for the season. I can't believe that they're still within this, and I'd written them off. You have to treat them seriously, the form they're in. Colin Fry's, hi Colin. Hi Bernard, Archer's finishing is top drawer. It is. There's a few people been saying that to me, he's the best finisher. I know Tuber's got 27 goals, which is remarkable, fantastic, brilliant. But yeah, Archer's finishing is cool, composed. Yeah, he's ruthless in the round the box. And he's proved it. I mean, Ramsey and Archer 8 goals apiece, that's brilliant. I mean, as I said the other night, after the game on the Saturday, we did the Facebook Live and the YouTube Live. You know, last season, Barrigan, lightweight, scored a few, but never really set the head on a light. You had Conley. I think he was injured the other night. Yeah, Conley never really get going, did he? What has... Do you know what, Anth? I was ready to read that as well. I've heard that one. I used to use that one myself. What is 1,000 teeth and hides a monster? Dear me, Tony Mowbray's zipper. It says zipper. Dave McNally says, he brought Mo on. I thought, what is he doing? Why not use Belazer? But Mo played very well for a change. Dave McNally, hi Dave. He did play well, but I'd be surprised if somebody's coming off the bench when the team's in cruise control and turn the opposition to shreds. I would be astounded if a player or two come off the bench and didn't enjoy it and play well. You know, it's a different kettle of fish when you come off the bench and you're fairly cold and the team's cold and they're not doing it and you're losing the game, and then you're looking for something, a bit of inspiration for the substitutes, but there was no need for inspiration for any subs because the team had did it from the off. So I'm not more, but I think it's easier coming into an environment when you're 3-4 up and running amok. Simon Denham says, evening Bernie, evening Simon. Great result. Let's keep this going to the end of the season. What position do you think we will finish? Well, obviously we're fourth at the minute. Is it 3 points behind Luton? And if they play Luton, we play Hull and then we play Luton, don't we? I think we'll finish fourth. It's okay. We're going to be in the playoffs. And then we bet you a lottery, but we have to get to the playoffs with momentum and a bit of confidence. And there's no doubt Friday night's performance and result and the goals flying in left, right and centre gave us that confidence. So fourth, I would think fourth. And if there's one team that I'm looking at, I'm thinking Luton's a team. Are you worried about the injuries, Bernie? Peter Gray, hiya Peter. Obviously injuries are a concern. I don't know how bad they are. I don't know how, I mean, we had injuries the other night, players limping off, but I don't know how bad they are. But injuries obviously can catch up. Look at Man United. I mean, they were playing Forest last night and, well, they won handsomely. Obviously Forest are struggling, but they've got a few bad injuries. I mean, I was at the Old Trafford game on Thursday night against Seville, or Sevilla, however you want to pronounce it. Leslie Coach just joined, been watching. Raoul Moat played with him. Raoul Moat, who does he play for? Leslie, Raoul Moat, what team does he play for? I thought it was a football show. I know who you're talking about. That's the one Gaza went down to give a drink and a sandwich or something to, wasn't it? Des O'Leary, hi Des. Greetings from Waterford, Bernie. How many goals do you think we will get against Hull and going for another 5 up the borough? So greetings from Watford. Bernie, how many goals do you think we will get against Hull? I'm going for another 5 up the borough. So Des's confidence is, well, it's unbelievable. Tony Mack says, hiya Bernie, is it true Keith Houchin was placed on the transfer list at Port Vale after you gave him a lift home? Keith Houchin, if you're thinking who's Keith Houchin scored for Coventry, the diving header when Coventry won the it was FA Cup, wasn't it? Flying header. Every time the FA Cup's when you see Houchy. He lives through in Thusk. And he was a Port Vale player when I arrived, and we used to share the driving because the two of us used to love coming back to this neck of the woods. So yeah, I go, yeah, you're right. I liked Houchy. Houchy was a good lad. Where are we? Nathan Williams says, evening Bernard. Why you call me Bernard? Call me Bernie or Wolfman. Bernard, come on, that's only Sundays I get called Bernard. Nathan Williams says, evening Bernard. What's your thoughts on Borough being linked with Alfredo Morelos in the summer? Well, he reminds me of Conley. He's overweight, plumpy. By the way, he scores good goals. But I tell you what he is. He's an annoying little overweight centre forward. Not scored a lot of goals in Old Firm games. I think he's got 1 or something. I'm sure he's only got 1. But he has scored a lot of goals. He scored them in Europe for Rangers and he has scored them. But I think he's a confrontational cat. I like confrontation, but he looks like a definite loose cannon, and it could cost you at times. So I think they'll be better than Morelos. I'm not being discrediting Morelos. I have watched Morelos. As I say, very good goal scorer. I know people say, well, he only scores in Scotland, Mickey Mouse League and all that crap. But he scored in Europe, and he's proved he's worth it, Rangers, over the years. But if we get in the Premier League, I'd be looking for better players than Morelos. Where are we? How do you think Jones did when he came on? Simon, he did well. The crowd got behind him, which was good because the crowd have been on his case throughout the season. He's been in the team, he's been struggling for confidence, and he came off the bench just like more and played well. So he could play a massive part in the playoffs. Stephen Matthew Frost says, want to say Friday with David Wheater was class up the Borough. Stephen Matthew Frost. So what Stephen's referring to, I host the Legends Lounge at Riverside match day and match days, and I get guests, and Friday night David Wheater come along. David Wheater's obviously still a player at the minute. He's playing for Darlington. Wheater's about 37, 38, and he was injured, so he came along to the game. And after some serious questions about his career and you know, playing for Bolton and playing for England and all that, talked about David Beckham, some funny stories there. I says, do you know what, Waits? I've seen you on YouTube, which I have. I says, you're a good singer, you. Do you want to sing a song to the people in the lounge? I thought he was going to say no, and he went, all right then. Will you join in? And he got a grip me. Don't forget, I've got my arm around his waist. He's 6'5". I'm 5 foot nothing. No, I'm about 5'12". And he started, I said, what are you going to sing? He says, I'll sing Elton John, I'm Still Standing. And off he went. Knew every word. Right through the song, the chorus, right through. Everybody loved it, joined in, applauded. After the game, I did a talk regarding what I'd witnessed. Then I said, do you want to finish with a song for weeks? Everybody cheered again. And he sang Pulp's Common People. And everybody joined in again and loved it. It was funny as. Weeks a character. Great player, Weeks. Local lad, Red Car lad. The late great Ali Brownlee used to call him the Red Car Rock. Just decided to call our last Leeds United because she kicks off every 10 minutes. Oh, I just watched Leeds there, by the way. I know there's a lot of Leeds fans up these neck of the woods. I've got a few here in the village. Leeds fans. Proud Leeds fans. Love Leeds. They were torn to shreds tonight. When I stopped watching it was 5. Was it more than that? Or they get hammered tonight. They look as if they're destined for the championship. Colin said, I heard Foz is suffering with a dead leg and they can take time to heal. Depends, yeah, dead legs, something you can shake off. You get a dead leg in a game. If you think dead leg, it's on the side of your legs. Dead leg. Sometimes you can run it off in games, and then when the game's finished and you have your bath or you're home, it can swell up, it can be bleeding inside, and yeah, it can be worse than first anticipated. 6 Bernie. Going for 6 for Borough. Borough fans need to get off Paddy McNair's back. What you think, Bernie? Richie Downs. Well, Richie, I says on Saturday's Facebook, YouTube Live, I says in the lounge live to the people in there, if you are criticising Paddy and blaming him for the defeat at Huddersfield and Burnley and only getting a point and the 2 goals conceded down at Bristol, then more or less you're a halfwit. You cannot blame one player for 8 goals conceded in 3 games before the game the other night against Norwich. It's ludicrous. I've watched the games. I've seen the goals. The whole defence were hopeless and to blame for the goals, not just Paddy. Paddy did dive in the other night for the one and only goal they scored. He did. He sold his soul. He was left wanting, and the guy skipped by him and carried it and finished it on Paddy's right, their left. So I would say, yeah, Paddy's to blame for that, but come on, all the other goals, away. You need to give your heads a shake, man. Michael Gallagher said, this is our best chance for years to get promotion. With the teams around us, we won't get a better chance. I hope we grab it. I fancy us to play Luton in the final at Wembley. Do you know what, Michael? That's the one team that I'd rather miss out on Luton. And if I was to fear a team, it'd be Luton. London boys, sort of had just climbed the league without a lot of commotion, a lot of headlines, just did the business. But they're a good side, and we'll find out. Well, saying that, that's how it's a vital game against Luton. So we play Hull and then Luton away. And if we go and beat Hull, then that's the territory. You're laying a mark saying, listen, if we see in the playoffs, we're going to do these again. So it's a massive game against Luton. Both of us are going to be in the playoffs. But I just think it's a wee marker to say, we're the best team here. And you better hope you don't get us in the playoff final because we're going to do these. The last thing you want is to go down there and get gubbed. Morelli spends more time banned. Laugh out loud. He does, Colin. Evening, Bernie. And the goal Norwich scored for me has to be Stefan's fault for kicking ball to the player and not looking for his own players. Yeah, we can nitpick now. It's gone. It was only one goal. Yeah, I get it. I was looking at clean sheets the other day. I think Stefan said 9. 8 or 9. Even Joe Lumley. Mind Lumley? No, Joanna Lumley. Joe Lumley that we all criticised because he was poor at Middlesbrough, and he was poor. He's even had about 8, 9 clean sheets. Another lad, Saul Bryn, I think he's had 10 clean sheets, something like that. He's playing for Swindon. So, there you have it. Simon Denham says, Bernie, do you agree that we look a better team when Dale Fry is in the team? Well, Dale Fry's played the majority of games this season, and we do look more settled when Dale's in. I'm not going to disagree with that. So the answer is yes. But that's because he's been in more than Paddy. Paddy's played a bit piece this season. You know, he's been in the team, he's been injured, he's been on the bench. So yeah, I think we have looked better when Dale's in. But Dale was, I think a few weeks ago, Dale was on the bench. So we take it he was fit. But Michael Carrick, the coach, opted for Paddy. Then the next week, possibly they'd played Dale, but Dale was injured. And as far as I know, he's still injured. So, Leslie Coates says 6-1. Cal Macker, Sunderland fan. What a fantastic weekend. Newcastle United get hammered. Hats are falling apart again. And 2 fantastic victories for my 2 teams. Well done, Sunderland and the Hibernian. I'm off to Sunderland match tomorrow night against Huddersfield. Then after St Johnstone away on Saturday. And then West Brom on the Sunday for a 12 noon kickoff. That will be 69 matches this season. And if you're thinking, who's Cal Macker? Cal Macker always listened to the Legend Show, which was the biggest show in the North East. Myself, Mark McDonald and Derek Gates used to host it. Cal, who's a blind lad, they won't mind me saying that. He's blind, but despite that, he travels the country, listening, getting the vibes and the terracing, knows everything about football, very educated. Well, I know, I'm saying very educated. Mark, you'll be laughing. How can you be educated supporting Sunderland and the High Bees? Bernie look very dapper as always. And does Hackney, for you as a Borough fan, show the academy players have a good chance to get in and around the first team under Carrick? Keith Watson. Yeah, well, Hackney's, he set his stall out, and he's letting Carrick know and other people know that, hey, we've got a few decent players in the younger team here. Have a look at them. Maybe no need to spend money. I mean, Hackney has been a revelation. I never put young kids in pedestals first season because you can't have a one-season wonder. But next season is more difficult because everybody will know Hackney's qualities. They'll know what he's good at, know what he's bad at, his frailties, and he'll be under the microscope. Great goal on Friday night. Ball's come in for the right, and he's hit it first time, and it's accuracy. He's not always went for power, he's went for accuracy, and it's flew in the bottom corner. Great finish. Nice, cool, composed. And I would say to Hackney, if he was watching this, I'd say, Hackney, I don't know if you call you hackers or whatever your nickname is, but score more goals. You've got it in your locker. Score more goals. You're young, you're vibrant, you're fit, you're direct. Your first train of thought is going forward. Go and score more goals. For me, you don't get enough, but hopefully that comes. But for me, there's 4 games left. Go and get, well, plus playoff games. Go and get another couple of goals. Team effort, win or lose. Gren Steele. Well, it is. And the great thing about the Middlesbrough game the other night, the goals were all team goals. You know, passing, movement, unselfish. You know, the goal that Akpom scored, well, went up the left. We could have shot, but we opted to square it for Akpom to get another goal. So, unselfish, and it was good. I was at the game on Friday, and I thought Foz was outstanding and worked his socks off. Actually, Daniel. To me, they're just slaves and criminals. Who are? Who's slaves and criminals, Jack? What's that about? Slaves and criminals. I don't know what you're on about. If Sunderland get top 6, will you bet your arse in the big window, considering you says no chance? Do you know what, Leslie? If Hackney scores more goals, he could end up like Ledbetter in his goals in midfield play. Keith Watson. Hackney's a more direct player than Ledbetter. Ledbetter was a very good leader, captain, scored a few very good goals, but I'm looking for Hackney to get more goals. Don't forget, Hackney's younger. For me, he's a more forward-thinking player. No, I wouldn't go that far, Leslie. If Borough get top 2, I would do that. Nathan Williams, if Borough got, how much money could they spend in the summer, taking FFP into account? Well, I don't know what money's available. It's hypothetical at the minute, but I would hope whatever the restrictions or whatever, I want to spend the limit. I want all the money spent. As I say, I can say it carelessly because I'm a fan. Obviously, I'm sure Steve Gibson and the Chief Executive Neil Bowser will think differently, but I'm a fan and I would love to take it right to the limit and spend everything we can and get as many players in as we can, good players, quality players, and stay in the Premier League rather than get up and down. We've did that for so long. I mean, somebody mentioned it a minute ago. This is the key season. We need to grasp the nettle now. We're in a great position. We cannot blow it. Well, we can, but hopefully we don't. And let's get into the promised land, the Premier League, where they play with the big boys and where the big bucks are. And let's establish ourselves in the Premier League. I mean, I look at Brighton. Brighton were with us a few years back. They're flying. What a team they are. Recruitment's unbelievable. Incredible turnaround. Brighton's a prime example for me. That's where we want to be. Have good development and play pure football. We are playing football, but in the big league, we probably need a better quality of player. That's not being disrespectful. I think that's factual, isn't it? Daniel says, I heard reports today that Chelsea are sniffing around their academy for a young lad called Finn Cartwright. I remember this happened before and ended up on Panorama. Yeah, there was. I heard reports today that Chelsea are sniffing around their academy. Yeah, it was. I'm trying to think of the guy that, you're right. It did end up in Panorama. Panorama's a programme on telly, and it was an under whatever detective or whatever following agents and teams and players. And you're right, I can't think of the lad's name. It didn't make it anyway, did he? For all the hype, nothing. As I say, people were raving about him. Chelsea wanted him. Where is he? He went right off the radar. I think he went off the radar within a year. Gareth Oyston, hi Gareth. If we did got Bernie, Gibble will have to dig deep into his pockets to help us stay up. With all our loans, that could be expensive. How much would you reckon he could need to spend? Could it cost the club more than we can afford and long term be financially bad for the club? Well, that's the thing, Gareth. It's like I always say, I don't know the financial structure of Middlesbrough Football Club. Only the chief exec and Steve Gibson will know that. I'm not privy to that. I was never good at maths and sums and arithmetic and all that. But we have to spend the limit to keep us in the league. Because if we go for more loans and spend a few quid here and there, but not overspending, you need to spend big to stay in the league. We do. So I don't know, but we need to spend plenty if you're going to stay in the league. No, but as I say, loan players are great. But the most disappointing thing is loan players head off at the end of the season. The parent clubs and just say, come on, want you back. And we can say, oh, we've took to him. The fans have took to Ramsey. They've took to Archer. We want to keep them. All of a sudden, the parent clubs say, no, they're coming back here, and then we're moving them on. We're selling them. We might have the money if we get into the Premier League to say, well, we'll have them back. We'll buy them, and that's fine. But we still don't hold the key. The parent clubs do. Nathan Porritt. Yeah, that's the name. Nathan Porritt. So Nathan Porritt, Daniel, thanks Daniel. Nathan Porritt was the guy that Panorama, Chelsea were sniffing around, to use the terminology a lad used, wanted them, were interested, sort of attacking them to a degree, tipping them up. Anyway, he disappeared off the radar. And says, Borough used to have the best production line of players coming through the, like Brighton, Johnson, Wood, Gate, Cattermole. Yeah, Johnson, Woodgate, there's a gap there. Johnson, Woodgate, Cattermole. What about Stewie Downing? And Adam Johnson, Jonathan Woodgate, Lee Cattermole. With a host of other players. There was Harrison, there was Robbie Stockdale, there was Baker in midfield. With a host of fine players coming through the academy. But I've always said it. I know we've got Chuba at the minute absolutely on fire. But there's only 10 scored 100 goals or more in Middlesbrough's history, and 7, 8 of them are for the North East, and there's about 6 from this area. We've never produced a local striker for many, many years, and yet there were a boatload of them. There was no academies back then. Nathan Porritt, yeah, we know. Hi Bernie, hail. John from a Sportsman says hello. That's with James Mills, and James Mills, I call him Elvis. He'll be sitting in a bar in Glasgow where he always is, and obviously he is, because the Sportsman's a bar in Glasgow, which I don't go in, but Mills is in it every night. There's a bit of karaoke and a bit of chatting. Tries his luck with the ladies, you know, that kind of thing. He'll be laughing at that. But anyway, yeah. Jim, good lad. Parnaby, McMahon, Wheater, Morrison, and the rest under McClan. Danny Graham springs to mind for a local striker back in the day. Yeah, but was Danny successful at Middlesbrough? How many goals did he score at Middlesbrough? Andy Campbell came through. Striker. Local lad. But limited appearances because the guys in front were all big hitters, big names, cost loads of money. So Andy had to fall down the pecking order. We have had local lads, but I'm talking about the guys of the past. Camso, local. Fenton, local. Clough, local. Mills, local. They're all local lads. No academy back then. I think there's a lot of hype with the academy. Hi Bernie, I went to my very first match last Friday. Well done, Missy Maz. What a great game. I hope to see many more up the Borough. Well, Missy Maz, you might be the lucky omen. We needed to get back on track, and by we did it very, very convincingly. It was great. It was a great watch. Fans were great. The weather was miserable, but it was brilliant. If we get promoted and keep hold of Akpom another season, loan for Archie and Ramsey, our first priority is bring strong, this is Colin, bring strong athletic defenders and top holding midfielder. Well, yeah, Johnny Howson signed another year contract, but Johnny's 34, so I don't think you can rely on him for a whole season, 50, 60 games, whatever it is, depending on cup runs. Yeah, and hopefully Hackney flourishes. But there's always changes. If we don't go up... I don't kid myself. I'm a realist, not a fantasist. If we don't go up, Akpom will be on the radar of several clubs. There's no doubt in that. People must acknowledge and appreciate what he's did this season. And they'll be clocking him and monitoring him. And admiring what he's got. And they'll be thinking, how much did they pay? Just under 3 million. Oh, we'll have a daft bid here. Bid maybe 15, 20 million. How much, I'll ask you, the Borough fans out there, what do you think Akpom's worth at the minute? Came for under 3 million. Scored 27 league goals, 28 in total because he scored a cup goal. And he'll get more goals in him because he looks like scoring every time he goes out there. So what do you think the price tag should be? And don't forget, he's going on 28, he's 27, going on 28. And this is the first real season scoring goals. So put that into, I'm saying that just to, when you're evaluating what he costs, think of that as well. I mean, if it was a Harry Kane where he banged in goals for the last 10, 12 years, then obviously valuation is going to be up. 27 to 35 million for Akpom, Keith says. No messing. 27 to 30 million. Nathan Porritt ended up a kit man at Hartlepool, but not part of the game at all now, I believe. That's right, Daniel. He just disappeared off the ethos, and it's sad. I mean, The late great Wilf Mannion. I got to know Wilfie. When I came to Middlesbrough and signed for Middlesbrough in '85, my late father says then, when you go to Middlesbrough, get a picture with the late with Wilf Mannion. I says, who's Wilf Mannion? Because I was a Celtic fan, into Jimmy Johnson and Bobby Lennox, wingers like that. And he says, you'll find out when you go to Middlesbrough. Anyway, I did find out. And I first met him at the pub facing Stewart's Park. It's no longer there. It was called the Ladle. Anyway, it's demolished now. But I met him in there, got a picture and sent because my dad wanted a picture. He says, get a picture for me with Wilf Mannion. And I got to know Wilf, him and his mate Lanny, God rest both of them. I got to know both of them. Used to have a meal before I did the commentary with Ali because he had his own lounge, and rightly so. But the way his career, you know, Middlesbrough, England, Great Britain, he was called the Golden Boy. I've actually got a book here. Let's see here. I've got a host of books here. I've just cherry picked it there. There you are, Mannion, Golden Boy. He was, there is his England top. He was some player. I've seen clips of him. Anyway, what I was getting at, he got a broken jaw in Glasgow against Scotland, and he travelled back cattle class for Glasgow on a train with a broken jaw. Unbelievable the way they were treated then. And when his career did finally finish, he ended up ICI serving the tea. This is a guy who played for England, Great Britain, who was one of the greatest ever. Incredible. Imagine these modern players now, some couldn't kick their asses, they couldn't lace Will's boots. Imagine them going to serve tea when their career's up. I don't think so. If Borough get promoted, I seriously try for Amad Diallo is going to be world class. So Diallo is the lad that is at Sunderland. Very good player. Yeah, he scored against us, didn't he? Cal Macker says, don't just assume that you're going up. You might get to the playoff final and lose. Oh, Cal, without a doubt, never count your chickens before the hatch is the old cliche and saying. Yeah, you're right. As I say, I've been there. I've played in playoff finals. I've played in playoff semi-finals. And they're difficult, but please don't come out with, oh, the pressure. I said this the other day and I said it in the lounge last week. Pressure is not playing football or trying to get promotion. Yeah, there's a pressure, but it's a nice pressure. You've got 30,000 behind you, singing your name, getting behind the team, all Borough fans when they're at the Riverside. You're getting 30, 40, 50 grand a week. You've got everything that you need. Pressure. What pressure? Pressure's on the door with 4 kids to feed. You don't know where your next penny's coming from. That's pressure. That's real pressure. The homeless people, pressure. No pressure scoring a goal in front of 30,000 fans singing your name or, come on. Let's put it in context. There's a bit of pressure, but it's a nice pressure. And there's a team. It's not just you and your own. There's a team. But we did handle the pressure in Friday night, so well done the Borough. Remember him who played for Borough, Big Joe Livingston? Some also say Steve Livingston. Remember him. John Fox says people need to realise that we ain't getting the Villa kids back unless it's silly money. For John Phillips. Well, you presume that because Villa will be getting all the reports back as well as to how good Ramsey and Archer have been. And they have been, as I say, 8 goals each is a good return, and they've not been here that long. Has to be 25 million, and now for Akpom. 25 million or so. Ron Finley says 10 to 50 million for Akpom, I reckon realistically. We need to be realistic. You know, age, background, seasons, that all comes into play. But this season, he's been fantastic. Unbelievable. Joe in the Lane Livingston lived next door to me for years. Lado is now demolished, mate. Yeah, says that. It's now it's houses, isn't it? It's just been built in the apartments. The building still stands. Alpine is valued at how much Gibson can afford to resist for promotion or Premier League survival. I reckon we need to sign Giles, whether we got or not. Well, it's how much he is, Ron. It's how much he is. You know, what can we afford them? If we got, we'll be able to afford them, I'm sure. And Archer, but there'll be other clubs queuing up and they'll go to the highest bidder. We're not in control of that. I think Sunderland might make a late dash for the playoffs We are doing what we need to do and winning matches. Our support is second to none. We take over everywhere we go. Come on, Sunderland, final push. With Ahmad in our team, anything can happen. Huddersfield at home, West Brom away, Watford at home, and Preston away. You never know. Yeah, I was going to say that. So Newcastle United's remaining games, they're fourth. By the way, what a trouncing they got. Newcastle, I'd love a Newcastle fan on just to tell us what his thoughts are, or her thoughts are. But Newcastle's remaining games, and don't forget they're chasing top four. Spurs, who got done at the weekend, was it Bournemouth that beat them? Everton, Southampton, Arsenal. Arsenal 2-2, 2-0 up against West Ham. Davy Moyes under severe pressure, 2-2. Man City, I've said for 3 months, Man City's going to win the league. Everton, Southampton, Arsenal, Leeds, Leicester and Chelsea. So that's their games left. So Newcastle, who are chasing a fourth spot, Spurs, Everton, Southampton, Arsenal, Leeds, Leicester and Chelsea. Sunderland, they've got Huddersfield, West Brom, Watford and Preston. They're looking for a top 6, that's what Mark is saying. Borough's got Hull City, Luton, Rotherham and Coventry. Hartlepool, who lost at the weekend. I've got Salford tomorrow night, I think it is. Crawley, Barrow and Stockport. They're second bottom, they need to get out of there. And Darlington, Curzon, Aston, Kings Lynn, Town and Peterborough Sports. And they're 8th in the division. I mean, they were up there for so long. So that's the remaining games for the teams. Everyone needs to get behind Borough, whether we get in playoffs or not. Carrick done a great job since he's been in. I don't think anybody would disagree with that, Glenn. I think everybody's been unbelievably complimentary to Carrick, Big Woody and the team for how well they've done. Bernie, do you think Carrick will be let to get the players he wants, or do you think Kieran Scott will just get players he loves and not listen to Carrick? I think, look, Tony Mowbray has more or less, I've always known in the modern game, this is what happens. Director of football goes in and they play the biggest cards of all. They nominate who's going and has a great say in who's coming in. I think coaches, that's why Carrick's a coach, that's why Mowbray's a coach. And a lot of people up and down the country are coaches. The prime example of that was Conte. Look at Conte, an experienced serial winner, comes to Tottenham. They sign a Borough player for, was it 25, 30 million? Something ridiculous. After his stint at Forest. And the next day Conte says, I didn't sign him. I look at Ben Gibson. When he moved from Middlesbrough to Burnley, Sean Dyche was in charge. I thought he'll suit Sean Dyche. Sean Dyche never played him. Why? Because he probably didn't sign him. So what happens? These guys bring players in that they fancy and have monitored and watched. They put them into the fold and the coaches coach them and pick the team. But they don't have to play them. Karanka didn't. Jordan Rhodes, 10 million quid. I could have saved the club 10 million quid and told you that Jordan Rhodes cannot play up front on his own. And he failed. And he cost us 10 million quid. And that's happened not just at Middlesbrough, it happens at Sunderland now. I think Mowbray, or Tony Mowbray, recently says that he's not in control of anything like that. That's why they're not called managers, it's coaches. If you're a coach, you coach the team and pick the team. But that doesn't mean you bring the players in or let the players go. You might have a say and say, oh, can we get him? Well, look at Warnock. Warnock says he wanted Archer and he wanted Ramsey when he was here. But they never came. Why was that? Because they weren't playing for Villa at the time. I think Clough signed Joe Livingston at some team. I think, my opinion, we will sign Giles and Stefan. Don't want Stefan. But I think Ramsey and Archer will go back to Villa. We're back to Villa, even if we got... What's up with this kid, Saul Bryn? Why has he never been given an opportunity? Don't get me wrong, I've not seen a lot of the kid, but everywhere he goes, he seems to get player of the match or player of the month or player of the season. At Swindon, 10 clean sheets. I don't know what's Swindon in the league. I should have looked at that. But don't forget, Stefan's playing in a top team in the Championship. Saying that, he's behind a failed defence. He will go to Man United and he will walk straight into that team. Who will, Maka? Nathan said, Man United want €40 million for Diallo, according to Mugger. So Borough got to a chance of getting him. All right, so Nathan saying Man United want €40 million for Diallo. Diallo's the lad for Sunderland, very good player, scored against Borough in the derby game, the last derby game. His movement's good, he's quick, he's tricky. Yeah, he does cause problems. Think Saul was a little young for the managers. A goalkeeper, young. A goalkeeper, he's a good height, he's a good physique. He's went on loan and been a success a couple of times now, and he's never been given an opportunity. We brought him back under Wilder, never played him. Swindon Town are 12th in the EFL League 2. So there you are, he's doing a great team, but he's having a lot of clean sheets. I'll read a few of these out. Keep them coming and I'll read these out. What a Sunderland fan, Jake, says, what a job your mate Mugger is doing at Sunderland, Bernie. Well, we've covered that, he's been fantastic. Jeff, Hartlepool fan, says, disappointing result for the Pools and Saturday, back into the bottom 3. Yeah, well, I mentioned there's only 4 games left and they really need to get your act together. Tomorrow is Salford, followed by Crawley, Barrow and Stockport. So they win the games, they'll stay up and let's hope they do. Newcastle Norm said Newcastle were poor against Villa. Worst performance this season, I mentioned that. But you're still sitting 4th. And Spurs obviously are beaten against Bournemouth, so you're still sitting pretty. Bob the Borough fan says, why hasn't Salisbury, we've mentioned that, got the chance at Borough? I don't know the reason. Stephen Percy's son. Stephen Percy played with Marcel in 10 years, loyal, successful at Middlesbrough. First team goalkeeping coach under Tony Mowbray at Middlesbrough. Quiet man of football, lovely guy, great goalkeeper. His son went to Blackburn under Tony Mowbray, didn't really feature, but now he's a first team regular. Franco Burrownut says, Hackney has been superb for the Borough this season, and what a great goal on Friday. It was, Franco. It definitely was. Joe Newcastle fan said, another season out, our black and white heroes are cocky. So Joe the Newcastle fan said, another season of black and white heroes are cock of the north. I'll just dismiss that one as if I never really read it. Neil the Borough fan says, the championship's bonkers. No rhyme or reason. Results are crazy. Performances, goals galore, howlers. Yeah, everything happens, you're right. The only thing I liked with Pairs was the soap. But you should be on the stage, Leslie. Cal says, you're getting big crowds at the moment, Bernie. But if you don't go up with all the fans that have just come out the woodwork, there's a wee bite of there. Be back next season. Well, that's what happens. Yeah, you do get fans coming out the woodwork. If we get to Wembley, there'll be a clamour for tickets going to Wembley. There'll be guys who's been at 2 games all season, or no games, will end up with tickets, and people who's been loyal and followed the Borough all season won't get them. That's the sad thing. How is Jason Steele getting a game at Brighton? Couldn't catch a cold at the Borough. Or Sunderland. He says, will the likes of Josh Coburn, Martin Piero, Grant Hall, Matthew Hopp and Hayden Coulson get a chance on the Carrick next season? Well, if we're in the Premier, I think it's very, very, very unlikely. If they can't get in this, well, we're doing very well, but the answer, if we get promotion to Premier League, I have to say no. But Piero, whoever signed him should be thrown in the River Tees. £5 million. We're short of cash, should we spend £5 million in an Argentinian who's away over there now, played a few games, looked half decent, skillful, technically good, didn't play enough, got injured, got the COVID, and then headed off. What a waste of money. Who's responsible for that? Anybody put their hands up at the club and go, I signed him? No. They just put it on the manager, the coaches, and they get the blame. If you get to Wembley, more people will get tickets than actually live in the small town in Yorkshire. That is the Borough. Try to wind you up, Borough fan. Just keep your powder dry. So go back to Nathan. Jason Steele getting a game at Brighton. I'm surprised. I'll be honest. I was surprised Jason Steele, how he's turned it round. 10 minutes. How he's turned it round. And in the Brighton team playing top flight football. Well done, Jason Steele. Where are we? If we the Borough make it, this is for Jeffrey, the Borough fan. If we the Borough fail to make it into the promised land, I fear Carrick will depart. But Pat, where's he gone? No, I know, listen, everybody's under scrutiny. And if we don't go up, there will be teams out there looking at our better players and the lone players and Carrick, how good he's done at Middlesbrough. And they'll be monitoring it. There's no doubt in that. They're talking about he could go to West Ham, where David Moyes is. There's talking about Hodgson, Crystal Palace, there, short time he could go there. Leicester City, they sacked Brendan Rodgers. Or get a caretaker manager in Smith or whatever. So there is a few clubs looking for managers. But it's all about that. Money talks. Which is sad really, but money does talk. And if somebody comes in with an outrageous bid or pay up a contract, then are we really in a position to turn massive money down for players, manager, coaches? I don't know. Born in Newcastle fan says, I was a keen listener of the Legend Show. Loved it. Do you still have contact with Martin Gatesy and Mickey Horsfall? Well, I do. Yeah, I've been in touch with Martin over the last couple of months. I've seen Eric Gates in the last couple of months. And I seen Mickey Horsfall a few weeks ago and I'm seeing him on Wednesday. So the answer is yes. Alan says, Bernie, what was your most important goal in the Borough shirt? All important. No, seriously, important goals. My debut goal against Bradford. That was my first game against for Middlesbrough in the Borough shirt, and we were a poor side. I didn't know any of the players. They didn't know me. We went to Leeds and we got beat 1-0. It was a penalty kick. We got beat 1-0. And then my home debut was against Bradford and I scored. So that was important for me. Relegating Chelsea, scoring the goal that relegated them. Borough shirt. Scored a goal against Aston Villa in the Zenith Data semi-final. Got us to Wembley, first time ever in club's history. And scoring 2 against Newcastle United in the last day of the season to keep us up and to stop Newcastle from automatically getting up. They eventually didn't make it because Eric Gates, who I mentioned a minute ago, scored for Sunderland at St James's. And the other one that I would like to think is my last goal for Middlesbrough against Peter Schmeichel. I don't think it was a better keeper than Schmeichel. He was the best. And we didn't get beat with Man United. It was 1-1. Anybody remember that game? Who scored for Man United? So it was 1-1. My last goal was October the 3rd, 1992, Premier League. What was the score? Oh, did I say the score? Who scored Man United's goal? Don't be cheating. Just try and off the top of your head. Jenny, Sunderland fan, says, I can see us, Mackems, playing the Smoggies at Wembley. That's already been mentioned, Jenny. Lemo, the Borough fan, says, Bernie, another 5 goals on Friday. How many have we scored this season? Well, our top scorers, 79 goals were scored. 79. Middlesbrough under Wilder, Warnock, Pulis, Karanka. Boring football, limited goals, Warnock. And now we're scoring goals for fun. Some of these opposing teams will need to put 2 goalkeepers in to try and keep us out. That's how good we've been this season. Top of the pile. TC, the Borough fan, says, who is your player of the season, Wolfman? Not even open to debate. I'm not going for young player of the year. I'm going for player of the year, out and out player of the year. Chuba Akpom. Goals, creativity, hold up play, movement. Unbelievable. Consistency. Fantastic. Top man. So, I don't even think it's home to debate. Tony says, the Borough fan says, I heard you on Facebook and YouTube live at Saturday, and a fan who's saying Carrick and Woodgate are the new Clough and Taylor. Laughable. Well, I laugh myself. Yeah, somebody had the cheeking audacity. We know Carrick's been brilliant and Woody as a partnership. But to link them with Clough and Taylor, dear God. Clough and Taylor won championships, won 2 European Cups back to back. Carrick and Woody are novices, they're just in the door. Calm down. I mean, somebody says to me the other day, Chuba's as good as Harry Kane. Harry Kane's done it for 10, 11, 12 years. Calm down. Yeah, it's as I say, it's laughable, it's funny. Maybe they're saying it in jest, maybe I'm easily kidded, but I think they've been serious. As I say, a lot of people can have a great season, whether you're midfield, goalkeeper, defender, striker. One season wonder. There's been many of them. Some guys turn it on at training when they come in front of a big crowd and the real thing, they can't do it. Nicknamed training ground players. It was apparently that Steve Bruce scored to put Man United 1-up before you made it 1-1, if I remember. Keith, I hope you didn't cheat. That's right. It was Steve Bruce. Apparently kick it was. Good evening, Bernardino. Who's this for? Is it, let's see. Tom Savage, good evening, Bernardino. Thanks for staying up and accommodating all you fans worldwide, including us here in Australia. Tom, thanks for joining us. As I say, I wanted to do it earlier, but because Leeds and Liverpool are playing, I think I try and look at the big picture and think a lot of fans will want to see that game. Leeds are a lot, well, yeah, the class is a derby up here to some people. But some people would want to watch that, so that's why I put it at 10. I know some people are up early in the morning, they can't watch it. I totally get that. Can't please everybody, you just need to go where you got. If you get to Wembley, more people will get tickets than acts. Oh, I've read that, Macca, come on. Do you think Carrick gets something out of Piero? We thought Akpom was finished till Carrick got him going. Could be the case, but it's some waste of money. 5 million quid. This is we're over 2 years now, we've not seen him kicking his ass. So, Rio Ferdinand, Chris Smalling, let go by Borough. Yeah. Do you know what? I heard that was it that time or the last time I was at Old Trafford, somebody mentioned that. Rio Ferdinand was at Middlesbrough. Yeah, Rio Ferdinand. And Chris Smalling. Chris Smalling's in, is he in Italy now? Daniel Reardon, hi Daniel. Hi from Botswana. This is a beauty of, you know, all these YouTubes and Facebook Live. Botswana. Bernie, where have Chuba's goals come from? No sign of the season coming. Can he get 10-15 in the Premier? Well, why not? I was questioned when I went into the top flight, and I achieved that. And why can't Chuba? Now he's on fire. He's at his strongest now. He's most powerful now. Yeah. He's 27, 28, so he's at the peak of his career. That's what I mean. He's at the peak of his career. He's had the season, his best season ever for himself. And his tail must be up. He must be super confident. So why not? If Warnock was still in charge, or Wilder, or Karanka, or Pulis, Chuba would not have 27 goals. He'd be lucky to get 27 shots. Chuba's got the goals because Carrick's an attack-minded coach who's came through the biggest club in the world, arguably one of them. He's seen the top managers, how they operate, like Fergie and whatever. And he's came here with an attacking mind. And that's the Chuba's credit that he's took full advantage. He's given him a role where he can sit in the hole, the number 10 role, and drift and get unmarked and then link up play and then get forward and get goals, come in late into the box. And he's did fantastic. But his successes went with what Carrick. If Carrick doesn't come in and we get another boring long ball merchant manager, Chuba doesn't score the goals. So if Carrick's here next season, why couldn't he get 10-15? Because I don't think Carrick's going to change his style, is he? I don't think for a minute that he would change his style. Question, what is your prediction for the 4 teams to make the playoffs in the order? I've not even thought about that, Tom. Just as long as the Borough's in it. I remember Gaza answered Bobby Robson let go by Middlesbrough. Yes, Gaza did come back and look at careers both had back in the day. They're all coming out the woodwork now. So, enjoy Botswana. So, why can't he? Why can't he? Possibility. But to say that the way that he's blossomed this season and all the qualities he showed that we never thought for a minute he did have them. And I'm not talking about the lad's back. I says that in front of my camera. I interviewed him. You can watch it on my YouTube channel free. Was it 5-6 weeks ago? And I says that. I says, Chuba, you know, a lot of people had written you off. I says, I was one of them. I cannot believe how good you are. And a lot of my former professional teammates as well had the same opinion. Carrick picking them every week. Confidence. Giving them confidence. Stroking his ego. Giving them a position that suits him. surround him with players who's going to feed him. I mean, look at Giles. Giles has been he's spoon feeding Chuba and company. He's the most productive player as a fullback. People knock his defending. He's not the best defender, but a lot of modern fullbacks, wing backs are not good defensively. They're all flawed defensively. One of the best I've seen going forward and defender was Ashley Cole at Arsenal and then Chelsea. He was in England. He for me was the best defender England's ever had. For me, he was one of the few England players I thought was world class in the big tournaments. He did it. Ashley Cole, great player, great player. That's also if Sunderland won the last 7 games, they will be promoted. 7 games. I've not got 7 games left. Oh right, okay. So you've got them in the playoffs. Yeah, because Sunderland's got Huddersfield, West Brom, Watford, and Preston. So I'm thinking 4. But you've got them in there. Yeah, okay. I get it, Mark. I get it. Absolutely fantastic what you did for Parky, by the way, Daniel Reardon. If you're thinking, what did I do? What was it me? It was a collective thing. I get the lads for the 86, Bruce Rare, Tony Mowbray, Pallister, Pears, get them all together. I don't need to bribe them, I just ask them. I say, right, I'm thinking of this do for Parky in the town hall to raise funds, because Parky came and, I played with Parky 85 to 92. Parky was a local lad for Thornaby. He's got what you call locked-in syndrome, and he needs 24-hour care. So, the idea, this is the 4th one that we've actually done, and we get everybody back in the town hall. There was just under 600 people, and we raised 75 grand for his 24-hour care. Collective thing, as I say, my missus is the brains behind it. She deals with finance and all that stuff. I just get the lads in, which is no big deal, and the lads turn up, and we just cannot believe the connection, and we sincerely mean it, everybody is, and we all say it behind the scenes. The connection we have got, that 86 team with the Borough faithful. You're talking 85 to 2023 and 600 people turn up for you. I mean, if this team now in 30 years time turn up, there'll be nobody there. Half of them you won't even remember. So why is this team so prominent in the memories? Because we were into liquidation, bankruptcy, stayed loyal, didn't kiss the badge, we wore the shirt with pride, we genuinely loved the club. We could have all left because the football club had broken the contract. We had with no pay, had to wash our own gear, train in local parks, but we stayed put. But the connection we have got with the fans for that era is incredible. Don't forget, a lot of these lads would have been young lads then, and they, you know, when you're younger, your thoughts last a lifetime, don't they? Bernie, that era was different gravy for us back then. Yeah, as I say, and the thing was, we were a good footballing team. 3rd, 2nd, 1st consecutive seasons after all the carry on. Wembley, first time in the club's history. Yeah, there was some great... The thing was, every one of those lads, and even now, despite some of them being lawyers and managers, and they're all humble, and they're all down to earth. I don't think any of us would allow any to be any different. And if we didn't meet each other for another 20 years, we meet up, we'd all act the same, be the same, irrespective of titles, money, whatever. That was it. That was one of the beauties probably in that period, that it made us all appreciate what we got beyond that. After coming through, you know, pub teams didn't even wash their own gear back then. We were meant to be professional. You scored a few goals at the Tall Trees. That was your last goal. Well, yeah, it's a hard one, that. Clough and Taylor, more like Barry Chuckle and Paul Chuckle, dear God. And says the only good thing to come out of Newcastle was the Geordie Lass of 2006, because, oh my goodness, unbelievable. Daniel May says, so out of a recent match, the squad, who in your opinion wouldn't cut it in the Premier or would cut it easier? Ha ha. Also had 3 future England players in Pallister, Cooper and Ripley. Pairs could be there. I think with a little lad, Tony Mowbray, a skipper, yeah. No, that team, so the squad of 14, I think there was 7 internationals came out yet. 7 internationals out of a team that cost peanuts. I cost 25 grand. Palliser was a set of strips. Archie Stevens, I think, was 50 grand. Stephen Pears was 60 grand. Mugger, Cooper, Ripley and all those guys were free. Hammy was free, came as a young lad. Yeah, absolute peanuts. Gills player of the season ahead of Chuba. No, Nigel, you goals. First guy to score 20 league goals for 32 years. Come on, you need to get to the forward, man. Bernie, best thing about Newcastle is the A1 heading south. Dear God, the jokes are flying in. There is no slab head. Bruce scored in the 1-1. He did, yeah. See Bruce. Mr. Mar says, are you doing more things for Parky? I watched on YouTube doing the town hall event, and I'd love to go to the next one if you do another. There's no doubt in the future, Missy Maz, that we'll do another one for Parky. This is the fourth one we've did. And yeah, if you want to watch that as Missy Maz has done, if you didn't see it and you're intrigued about the background and the history of that 86 squad and the night of the town hall, if you click on my own YouTube channel, it's free. Just watch it. It's on for nearly an hour. You see Bruce Rare doing a talk, who was the then manager. He eventually went to Bolton and ended up at Arsenal. He signed Dennis Bergkamp. Bruce Rare talks. Colin Cooper talks. Captain Tony Mowbray, who's now obviously Sunderland manager. Gary Hamilton, who flew all the way from America. That shows you the bond that we've got. Gary Hamilton, who'd been in Middlesbrough a couple of months previous, flew all the way over for 3 days to support Parky. And he bought a couple of gifts. Gaza signed shirt. He donated that. I actually handed that over yesterday. The guy had paid a right few quid for it. So so the answer is Mizzy, yeah. Daniel says, the connection comes because you were all heroes. Without you lads, we would have no club to follow. Do you know what, Daniel? It's true. It is true. The younger generation don't know the history of their own club. I don't get that. The young lads of today, if they're 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, don't know the history of the club they support. I know more than they do, and I'm not from Middlesbrough. I know loads about Middlesbrough. I know the history of the club. I know who's scored the goals. I know who's been in goal. I know who the managers have been. Because I've learned. I've wanted to learn. Because I live here. And I played. And I was loyal and successful. Along with 86 lads. So I want to know the history of the club. I want to know the future of the club. People sometimes say, oh, you're a critic. Well, I'm a critic because I care. You criticise your kids, your family, people you love, you criticise because you want the best. And I'm a Borough fan, I want the best. I mean, it's no happening over the years I've criticised, and I'll continue to do that. But at the minute, no need for criticism. With a few rough games and dodgy goals, and we say we're bit, but not overcritical, because we've been fantastic since Michael Carrick walked through the door. So, I only say what I see, I don't make it up. It's no fantasy. Was John Henry not from a Borough? No, and John Henry's from Glasgow. He lived not so far away. Well, he lived, thank God he lived a wee bit out the way. I went on to bump it into Hendy every night. We followed all of the country, Bernie, loved every minute of it. No, I'm kidding on, Hendy's a great lad. My pal, great lad. Who cuts the Premier out of the Borough squad from Friday's game? Well, we're talking about who's going to make it in the Premier. It's a hypothetical question because none of you know, but I do know when Karanka went up, and I says it the other week, when Karanka went up, I watched Borough's every game as I do now, and as I've always done when I did the commentary with the late great Ali Brownlee. Negredo, Valdez, the goalkeeper, and Ben Gibson were the only three that cut it in Karanka's team that got promoted into the Premier League. That's how difficult it is. The team I went up in, and some of the players went on to prove their worth in the top flight for many years. A lot of them didn't do it. They faltered. The defence got totally shreds. And that was with great players like Pallister, Mowbray, Cooper, Parkey, Pears. There was goals flying in left, right and centre. So we can only guess and surmise. People look at the 86 team, but two men got the club where it is today. Bruce Rare getting the right players to stay. Yeah. Steve Gibson with the last minute money to save the club. Club not be here today. Fair point, Keith. Yeah, Steve Gibson, young director at the time, took over the reins. Bruce came in and persuaded a lot of us to stay, get rid of some of the old guard who maybe wanted to stay but he didn't want them. And I honestly thought when Bruce came in, I tell Bruce this when I see him, when I thought Bruce Rioch, tough, tackling, I think he was, despite his qualities, I think he was nicknamed the Assassin when he played because he could put it about. I thought, he won't like me. I'm not courageous or vicious or aggressive. He'll get rid of me overnight, but he didn't. He wanted footballers. He wanted pure football. He wanted us to pass the ball, just like we're doing today. That was the brand that Bruce Rioch wanted to play. He told us in advance, we get out of the division, whatever division we're in, the third to second, second to first, and he said, we ain't kicking my way out, we're playing my way out. And that's what we did. And Sunderland make the playoffs. Mugger has said he will dance naked wearing nothing but tassels on the Transporter Bridge. I look forward to that. I've seen Mugger with tassels on round his raspberry ripples. I'll say it was honesty, not criticism. I say it was honesty, not criticism. Well, that's fair enough, yeah, honesty. Mowbray, for a defender, plays some attacking football mentality. Yeah, hey, look, Mugger likes the footballing game. I remember he was West Brom manager in the top flight and used to watch Hansen and co. And they were forever saying, is he not going to go defensive? And Mugger didn't. He stuck to his guns, kept playing, inevitably went down. But the season before, when he got West Brom promoted into the top flight, they scored over 100 goals. I read a few of these at this time because it's 7 minutes past. I've overshot the runway as always. I want to read these because I'm fed up when I look and I think I've not read them. Where are we? Who's your player season? I read that. I heard your Facebook Saturday. Yeah, Francesco, I've read that. What was your opinion in Norwich? Well, Norwich had a couple of good early chances and fluffed them, but Norwich tried to play the footballing way and style that we do, and we proved that we were far greater than them. So if they'd have came and shot and frustrated and tried to stifle us, then it may have been a wee bit more difficult, but they came at us and just kept going, lost 2, still kept attacking 3, kept attacking. So they tried to play as their own game, and on the night we showed them who was the better footballing team. Bomber says, seen you at Old Trafford the other night, are you a closet Man United fan? No? I've been at a few United games. No, I get asked to go and I enjoy it. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. That's the that brute. Mind the old aftershave brute. I've got brute on tonight. Stinks. Yeah, I go to Old Trafford when I'm invited. I go. I'm not a Man United fan, but I know a lot of the former players and I enjoy the company and I enjoy the crack and have a good time. It's a social event as well as watching the football. Matty says, Chuba has took your league goal scoring record over you. You got 21 in 89. Chuba has 27 with games left. How many years were you the top league scorer at Borough? Well, Chuba will need to be here a right few years to be the same. No, so Chuba has took your league goal scoring right. He has. Well done to him. I congratulated him. I interviewed him and I actually made a picture which I sold at Chuba to sign and made a few quid for Parky, 24-hour care. Yeah, I was top league scorer. My 6 full seasons at Middlesbrough, I was top league scorer, 6 of them. Anyway, it's not about me. Chuba's a man, up to date. But don't forget the history club. It's important to know the history. Glasgow Rangers through and through, Bernie. You're Glasgow Rangers. And cool, I've got Rangers fans. Hey, I live in England, I'm a Middlesbrough fan. Sometimes I don't even know who Celtic's playing, but obviously they're my boyhood heroes, so I like to see them winning. If Ross Stewart had stayed fit all this season, Sunderland would be fighting us and Luton for 3rd spot. Could well be right, Colin. So where are we? Playoffs looks a certainty. You were involved in a few. Yeah, I mentioned earlier, there was Bradford and Chelsea. That was home and away and then home and away again. It wasn't a final at Wembley. It was the very first one, Notts County. And then I played at Wembley. A lot of Borough fans probably don't even remember or know. Against Ozzy Ardiles, mind the Argentinian, played for Spurs. He was the manager of West Brom, who tried to actually get me when I left Middlesbrough on loan, but I opted for a 2-year contract at Port Vale. And we played West Brom in the final in front of a packed house, and Peter Swan, the centre-back for Port Vale, got sent off, and we lost 3-0. we lost anyway, so yeah, that wasn't a good memory. Don't worry, Bernie, I come not beat your scoring record. Oh, dear God. Right, I'll keep reading these then, that's it. So they're off my chest, because people keep saying you never read them. Cammy says, can Chuba break into Borough's 100 club? And he's got a wee laugh. Well, I think very unlikely. The 100 club, there is only 10 in the history of Middlesbrough scored 100 plus goals, and despite Chuba being in fire at the minute, he'd have to be here for 5, 6, 7 years to get that amount of goals. So, no, I don't think that's going to happen. We have to be realistic. And don't forget, players aren't loyal, clubs aren't loyal. He won't be here. He might be here next year if we're still in the Championship. Well, if we're in the Championship, I don't think he will be. If we're in the Premier, I think he will be, and I hope he is. I hope he is here for another year or two, but the odds are he'll be gone. If Wilder don't have the start, Borough would be second in place. It's all hypothetical, isn't it? Of Sheffield United. Matty says, Bernie, what were your ambitions when you joined the Borough? I've been asked this before. When I came to Borough, my first ambition was to sample full-time football, because I had a job in Glasgow. I was part-time at Morton, so I'd train on I think it was a Tuesday and Thursday, and I would work Monday to Friday, and after work I would have to jump a train and go, and that's how it was back then. Playing in the top flight was an ambition, which I achieved at Middlesbrough. I achieved everything I wanted to achieve at Middlesbrough. So the full-time football, and then obviously playing the top flight, playing at Wembley, playing international football. Yeah, so I achieved that with Middlesbrough Football Club. You know, my career is down to Steve Gibson, the late great Willie Matherin, my father, my late father. They were the three biggest, Bruce Rear. They were the motivators behind me doing it. As I say, when I first came to Middlesbrough, signed for Middlesbrough, I wanted to go home after 3-4 weeks. I couldn't settle, didn't enjoy it. I was homesick. And I was 24, I wasn't a young kid. Right, who's the best player you played with? Best player I played with? Palliser, obviously went Man United fame, won everything at Man United in a 9-year period under the greatest ever manager, or one of them in the world. And Paul McGrath. Paul McGrath, I got to know Paul very well with the Republic in a 3-year period under the late great Jack Charlton. What a player. Lineker, Van Basten, Rudy Howitt, played against the best. Very few of them get the better of him. And he never trained. He never trained because he'd wee niggles and whatever. So the idea was he would rest and only play games. How he kept his fitness was amazing. Claire says, who were the best players? No, I mentioned that, sorry. Willie says, is it Big Willie or Wee Willie? Whoever. Archer, Ramsey and Giles have all been terrific since they arrived. Do you think the trio will be here next season, irrespective of what division? As I said, if we don't like blow the pants off you, but if we don't make it the Premier, I think they'll return and it'll be harder to keep them. We get the Premier, we'll have money, and Palace and McGrath should have been managers. I don't know about that. Palace is too laid back to be a manager, and Big Paul had a few issues, so no, I don't think that would have happened. Do you think Chuba could be a one-season wonder for Neil? I don't think he will be, but after years of being loaned out and going abroad and coming back to Middlesbrough and then getting loaned out again, he could be, but I don't think he will be. I think his career will really blossom now. He's got a few years to really keep going now, and yeah, make him well known throughout. Lemmy, it's no Motorhead Lemmy, is it? Last night's result relieved a bit of pressure. I mentioned earlier, like, don't talk about pressure. It's a nice pressure. Fans, money. You've got a lot. Everybody's supporting you. Well paid for your job. It's a nice pressure. And there's a whole host of people alongside you. You're not isolated on your own. So it's no real pressure. Alan says, Bernie, are you continuing your podcast on YouTube next season? Yeah, I've already got a few sponsors. I need a few more. I'm confident I'll get them, and I'm confident I'll be back next season doing my bit. Facebook, YouTube, podcasts, everything. So, and tonight, if you didn't listen to my podcast, Total BS, it's an interview. I was meant to I met Big Jan Piotr a few weeks ago at Old Trafford. I was at Old Trafford the game. I'm a closet Man United fan. And obviously I know Jan, and we had a kiss and a cuddle and a picture. Went to social network. But back then, a few years ago, I wanted to interview him, but for whatever reason I didn't make it. So I got one of my mates, roving reporter, a guy called Jonathan Way, who's a Borough fan. I says, look, there's a question. Would you go and fill in for me and ask him these questions, which he did. So I'm grateful to Jonathan, grateful to Jan for doing the interview. So if you want to listen to that, you can listen to that on the Total BS podcast. It's free. You can listen to past interviews. Clough, there's everybody, Graham Souness, Ravanelli, Janino, everybody that's been great for Middlesbrough is on there. Even Chubarakpong. Where are we now? That's the podcast. This is the last one, and then I think it's it. We've definitely overshot the runway. What a great result last night. I mentioned it there. Oh, Jacko says, great atmospheric crowd at the Riverside on Friday, 26,000. Well, considering it was a miserable night, there was a great atmosphere and it was a great result. Liam says, another goal for Chuba. What a magnificent season he's having. Truly magnificent. Immense. Honestly, it's incredible. What age does a striker hit his prime? 27 30? Yeah, I say 26 to 30. That's your peak years, the best years. You have a bit of experience, bit of knowledge. You've had a wee bit of success. Tony says, no Fry, no McGree and Friday. Well, I guess both were injured. Franco says, was in the Legends on Friday night. Great. David Whittaker was funny as. The double act with you and him singing I'm Still Standing, and the old commentated by Pulp, funny as. And Toddy says, I noticed a pic of you on Twitter with Pallister, Robson, is it Vanda How or Vanda Go? The lad with the long hair, lead singer of The Alarm. The Alarm. I missed half the game, I'll be brutally honest. We're in the box. Obviously a few United former players there, pals, we're all chatting. Then the game's on, into the second half. I was just wanting to know what this guy, what he's done, who he's played with. I'm intrigued with music. Number one for me, music's immense, never lets you down. Football lets you down. Music never lets you down. I don't play any instruments, so I don't go as a critic. I just go and enjoy it no matter what. And he was saying that he played with Bono, U2, and U2. Neil Young. I don't know if it was Crazy Horse, but Neil Young. Bruce Springsteen. He played with some big hitters. But I was just intrigued. I was asking them questions like, why, when band members are singing the same songs every night, is it not boring, not repetitive? Why do some artists not have a support band before they come on? And he told me the reason, so I was really intrigued with it. Anyway, thanks for joining us. I'm 18 minutes over. 18 minutes over. And if you're a Leeds fan, I would suggest you go under and hide under the bed and put the lights out and try and stay under there to maybe the end of the season. Poor tonight. Totally shreds with Liverpool. I mean, they've had an indifferent season by their high standards, but by God, they tore you like a rag doll tonight. Bernie, thank you for another great live, mate. It's great to interact with Club Legends. Thank you, Daniel. And thanks everyone for joining us. And thanks to the sponsors, Galaxy Blinds, Cleveland Systems Engineering, Borough Ship Museum, RWT, Richard Will Train Associates, TGM Cars, Advanced Utility Solutions, and Cornerstone Business Solutions for their continued support. And let's hope they're all on board next season. And if you're interested, get in touch privately and I'll tell you what's what. And I say, I only need a limited amount. I can't have 200 because the ball's not big enough and the room's not big enough. But seriously, thanks for joining us. I'll be back again on Saturday. Sorry. Thursday. Games all over the shop. There's been holiday Mondays, Fridays. I'll be back on Thursday. Too late in the Wednesday night. I'll be at the Hull game. We'll try. I'll look at the fixture list, see what games are on the telly. If there's no games or average games, I'll do it earlier. If not, it'll be 10 o'clock. Thanks for joining us up the Borough. And thanks for joining us on YouTube. And from getting in touch abroad.